Hi. So now I'm going to talk about the inspiration for the first book in the Terrence Camera series, which is Windwood Farm. And like a lot of my other books, it started with a song, or at least the song helped, kind of put the story together. I had the idea for a story when my husband and I were exploring an old house. The house had been empty for probably a decade. Somebody had been squatting in it. I mean, there was signs, of canned food that had been opened and molded and stuff. So, there at least was somebody sleeping there at one time, but it was empty. Nobody lived there. And we walked through the house. The windows were boarded up, so it was really dark, and so that made it creepy, anyway. But there wasn't any furniture, there weren't any clothes or anything like that. No pictures on the wall. But then we went upstairs, and the house is very much the way I describe it in the book. We went upstairs, and in one of the bedrooms, there was a bed and a bureau and a wardrobe. And it didn't look like it had been touched. It literally looked like somebody woke up one day and got out of bed and left the house and just never went back. So I took a picture of that, and I kind of kept that story in my mind, or that image in my mind, for a long time, thinking I could do something with that. I don't know what, but I could do something with it. And at the time I was a social worker, so I was driving a lot. We had a 17 county radius, and I was always on the road. So I kind of played around with this image for a couple of years in my head, wondering what I could do with it and if there was anything to it, if I was just wasting my time. I didn't write it. I was working on another book about a woman named Sarah and her house in New Hampshire. And I wrapped that one up and still kept going back to this other one. And finally one day I thought, Sarah's house could use a prequel. So I thought about a character in Sarah's house and how I could write her story, and that's how Taryn was born. Still didn't have a story for her, but I kept returning to this image of the bed. And then one day I was driving home, and it was a long day, and the Taylor Swift song Love Story came on, which it has a happy, bouncy beat to it. It's not really a sad song or depressing in any way, but one line kept running through my head: it's a love story, it's a love story. And I imagined this goth version of it, kind of slowed down, like a broken record type thing. It's a love story. And this Romeo and Juliet idea formed in my mind, and by the time I got home, I had a preliminary sketch of a story tied in with that bedroom. And that's how Windwood Farm was born. And every story after that just kind of wrote themselves. I'd have seeds for ideas, but Taryn just kept coming. There was only supposed to be 3 books in the series. It was going to be a trilogy. But I kept finding adventures for her to go on, and hopefully, I'll find a few more. I enjoy writing about her, so as long as people keep reading them, I'll keep writing them. Thank you.